Welcome to another match preview here on Stones TV and on the Maidstone United podcast. We're back again after finishing 4th and 5th in the Match of the Day interviews. This time we look ahead to the latest return league fixture with the Stones travelling to Bucks to play Chesham United. So before we preview the Stones' next task, let's unseal the envelope from the Enfield match last weekend, Nigel. Only one place to start, and that's the shack trick. And yes, I did coin that for Alex before the third one hit the net, as you will attest. But yeah, shack trick. Nigel.
We was all wondering, wasn't we, after the exodus of Matt Rush and Papadopoulos, where the goals were going to come from, and little did we know it was there all the time. It's it's within the club structure, and he's been part of the squad since the beginning of the season and took his opportunity, and that's sometimes what this it's about, isn't it? You've seen it, haven't you? The players are from the wilderness and not performing regularly, coming from outside and just bish bosh. He just showed his class, really, didn't he? There's an article in the KM this week about he's 30 now, but he's got that experience, and he knows where the back of the net is, and that's all you want from your goal scorers, isn't it? Yeah. He's obviously got a good relationship with Aaron Blair, and we know what a talent Aaron's been this season, and he's just didn't quite click at the beginning of the season. They did start a few games together, didn't they? But like he said in his interview on Radio Kent, they're good mates off the pitch as well. So you've got that bond and that rapport with your fellow strike partner. I know you're just gonna know the runs that each other makes, and you're not going to get in each other's way. And that was the case for that third goal that got the hat trick, wasn't it? It was a proper poacher's goal, and it's what you teach all good strikers, isn't it? Always running after a shot, and he was there and he looked sharp, and even when he come on and before he got his first goal, he looked sharp, didn't he? And I said it on commentary as well. I think he's a very popular member of the team because he was waiting to come on. Obviously, Sol was down with his injury, and that he was being treated, and it was obvious that Shaq was going to come on. But Timmy was over to him, fist pumping him, and giving him a big hug. And then again, when he got his hat trick, Aaron Blair, big smile on his face, handing him the match ball. Do you know what I mean? It's that proper camaraderie. And Alexis come running on from the goal all the way down to the town end here to celebrate him. So it just proves, like, if you can get a player that comes in like that and can perform when they get their chance, it just shows that they all feel part of the squad, and that's the trait, isn't it? And it's probably what we're going to come on to a little bit later with George Reed, Manager of the Month award. He's really got that into a tight knit group now, isn't he? And it is all about everybody. Everybody's part of it, and I think that even more so this year with the 5 subs rule. Because you're never out of the game, are you? Usually back in the old days, you'd have a sub if somebody was injured, and you get like 5 minutes at the end. But everybody's involved now. You never know when you're going to get called upon. It's all good signs going forward. It just continues that sort of run, that momentum that we've been on.
Well, exactly, because it's not just the away form that is obviously nationally lauded for the Stones. 9 Stones home games since the Chesham match here earlier on in the season. We've had 7 wins and 2 draws and only conceded 3 goals. So that home form is well and truly turned around now, isn't it? And that's part of George's management month, which we'll speak about. The away form is great, but the home form as well is up there with everybody else now.
Yeah, and I think again, we talked about it at the beginning of the season, didn't we? And there was a lot of changes in the summer, and perhaps that camaraderie wasn't quite there, but. In December especially, they had those long away trips, didn't they?
Plenty of them, in December.
And at the Truro, well, don't forget that one was an overnight stay. So you're just bonding. You're with these players now. You're 24/7, not 24/7 because they got lives outside of things, but they are literally.
Nigel, but with social media and all the videos on TikTok and everything, they sort of are in each other's pockets all the time. So you can rub up the wrong way sometimes, but. As you're saying, spending that much time together, it's clearly developing, isn't it? Yeah,
and another going on that as well. Alexis, that stat came out before the game of the weekend, didn't it? He's leading the league for the Golden Glove for the most clean sheets, and that's only been added to after Saturday's performance. And he's, again, early season he was like that was probably one of the main criticisms, like his concentration. There's no doubt he's a good shot stopper. But even on Saturday, that was one of the things that really stood out for me. He's like, he didn't have a lot to do, but when he was called upon, he was concentrating. He could have easily, especially after we scored that first goal, there was that shot that it came through a crowd of bodies. If you weren't paying attention, you could easily have spilled that or missed, because you're not concentrating, because you're not in the game. But he was alert. He saved it away and then dealt with the incoming corner. So yeah, it's just all what we've been saying before. It's just these small steps that they suddenly become a run, but then you're on a sprint, aren't you? And and at the moment we're the team that are just on that sprint, aren't we? So long may it continue. And
a quick stat attack, as we like to do, from the Shaq attack, the Shaq trick. The last hat trick at home before Shaq's was. I won't test you for too long.
Go on, Jack Barham.
Yes, there we go. He's remembered his research from the last time we played Enfield, because we went all through that in the hot take. Yes, Jack Barham, April 22.
Against Dartford.
Against Havant.
Was it Havant?
At home, yeah. Matt McClure before that against St Albans in September 2019. So they don't come around too often at the Gallagher, but hoping we see another one here at least this season. So a quick thank you about the Team Behind the Team series and the feedback we have had. I personally had great fun recording it and showing you all behind the Stones live curtain. All volunteers, new recruits are welcome, so do get in touch. That's what we both did. So can you. And we look forward to seeing more volunteers on Stones TV and the website during 2025, all getting the recognition that they deserve. So another quick word, this time on George Elokobi, of course, winning Manager of the Month in the week of what is the 5th anniversary of his first goal for the club at home to Hemel. And we're all hoping that the fated curse doesn't strike once you've got Manager of the Month there, Nigel. Fully deserved by the gaffer and crew, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I think it was a dead set, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Wouldn't have got it for the month of December. I don't know what you'd have to do to get Manager of the Month. As we said there, the two long trips away to Truro and Salisbury, and only conceding that one goal at bottom Boxing Day away at Tunbridge there. Like George has been saying through all this journey that he's been on with us as well, not just as a player but as a management team as well. He's very much selfless in the fact that it's everybody. Do you know what I mean?
You saw that with the photo, didn't you? With everybody on the
exactly.
stairs.
Of course it is, and it is right, isn't it? He uses that word a lot, the community, and it's not just yes, the management team, as he calls them, and the backroom staff and all the physios and but even like the academy players. We were talking before we started filming about they won the National League Cup last year. That's all of George's influence. Because he's not afraid to blood these players like Riley Court and Sam Smith. They're coming into the team, but if you've got a figurehead, he's very much involved with the youth setup as well and the academy inside of it. So it's a good role model to have, isn't it? You can aspire to be part of that team.
So finally to Chesham, as it is a Chesham preview, and their ins and outs since the Desmond here at the Gallagher. Goalkeepers added include Oliver Stank and Dylan Adai. His loan from Millwall was extended for a further month until early February. He was on loan at Ramsgate earlier this season. Winger Gary Abisogan joined from Slough Town just before Christmas, having scored the winner against the Rebels in a playoff semi-final the other year for Bracknell. And midfielder Matt Lynch returned on New Year's Eve to the Meadow nearly 12 years after his first spell at the club. He's also joined from Slough Town, and he scored the equaliser against Aveley last weekend. So, Nigel, not too many changes to their squad, unlike others we've seen further down the table this season in return games. They haven't splashed that Taskmaster cash too quickly, have they?
It would seem from our experiences, what we've had with the media, they've got themselves some media facilities over the summer since we last played them in the FA Cup last season. Of course, they got to the first round, didn't they, of the FA Cup against Lincoln City, and had that televised tie. But it's just that general progression, and living within your means. They get good crowds and sort of just turn themselves into a sort of mid-table National League South team, and they sit bang average. Not that they're not bang average; they're a good team, but they're right in the middle of the table. They're not going to. You wouldn't think they're going to get challenged for promotion, and they're not in any danger of being relegated. No. So it's just a sort of like about a season of consolidation. There you go, got the word out. Consolidation, and then look to push on in the summer and just go to that next level. Which I'm sure they will. Because you've seen plenty of other teams and clubs, get that promotion, like Paul Town, I remember, and Hungerford, teams like that have come up and, not really had the backing behind them, and then as quick as they've come up, they've sort of gone without a trace again. So Yeah, I think they're doing the things in the right way. They've got a good old school stadium there as well. It's a good away day to go to.
Fast as well, isn't it? It's quite a big expanse.
Big open terraces behind both goals, and I mean, I think I've seen reports they are looking to eventually move to a new ground, but what they've got is adequate for the level that they're at, and gives them that chance to grow and sort of find their feet at this level, which they're doing admirably.
So the key men for Chesham so far in the 24-25 season. Nathan Minas scored the opener back in September in Kent. 8 league goals to his name so far this season. No real standout in goal. There's only 3 clean sheets for Chesham this season, 1 each for their 3 registered keepers. Connor Stevens has been the heartbeat of their defence this season, playing in almost every game and scoring 4 in the process. Same goes for 35-year-old Ashley Lodge in the midfield engine room, although he's yet to strike in the league this season. Famous last words. And Mitchell Weiss, Adel's brother, I'll keep doing it, I don't care, has been an intelligent foil for Minas this season. 3rd most minutes in the squad so far this season. Some players there, Nigel, that we've already seen up close at the Gallagher behind us out there, and they could do damage again at the Meadow on Saturday, couldn't they? Yeah,
I mean, there's another one to mention as well. Is Jack Cooley's there, isn't he? He was that long throw. We didn't really see it when his time here, because I don't think he got many games, did he? I mean, he was brought in because of the long throw, but he couldn't never establish himself in the team. But yeah, he's a good old school pro, isn't he? I don't know if he's been injured or a lot late. I think I saw somewhere that he had an injury, but whether he's back playing now, I don't know. But it's certainly a weapon that we've got to be wary of, and. As we say with all these previews, the management team would have done their homework and they know where their threats are and where their weaknesses are and where their strengths are, and but we're on such a good run of form now. It's literally the team's picking itself and the confidence is there within the team, and it will come to an end eventually, no doubt. I can't see us never say never, but winning every game between now and the end of the season. But it's just about doing the right things, isn't it? Working hard, doing the right things, putting your sort of stamp on the game, and then you get your rewards like we saw against Enfield on Saturday. You win the battles and you win the war, don't you? So maybe it's a little bit of a glossy scoreline, the 4-0, but the hard work that we put in that first half and early part of the second half when they had their sort of like few attacks that they did have. You get your rewards in the end, and that's coming to fruition now. So it's just about keeping those right practices, and I suppose a lot of the players will have superstitions, and it's just doing their same things, isn't it? Arriving at the ground, having your lucky socks, having your lucky underwear.
He's still got his. So he tells me.
All that thing. It's just about continuing those patterns of good fortune, isn't it? So. And I'm sure, like I say, with the hard work and the daytime training, that's all sort of coming to the fore now. And again, long may it continue.
So Chesham's form since last we played, they've played 4 FA Cup games after we met at the Gallagher, reaching round 1 again before losing at home to Lincoln City, as Nigel mentioned earlier. 2 further games in the FA Trophy, with their run ending at home to Salisbury. And in the league, 14 played since we last met. 4 wins, 3 draws, 7 defeats. 3 of those losses were at home, and Aveley away to make 15 matches that have been played. So Nigel, a mixed bag for them recently, but overall this season, as we've already mentioned, they've acquitted themselves incredibly well for a first go around.
It's just sort of like putting your foot in the water, isn't it? Testing your environment, and like we said, after this first season, they get good crowds there. They look to sort of push on. When you mentioned there some of the players, Nathan Minnis, Connor Stevens, they're all good players that have played a lot higher and it's just about identifying that talent from the lower leagues, bringing it on at the right time, and using so there's not too many changes in the summer, but then just enough to go again to that next level.
If you can't make it to the game, make sure to tune in to Chris Bedgervase and Darren Stiles from 2:40 on Stones Live. You'll see them on the hot take and hear them on the highlights once they go online. So another away trip, and to one of the many happy places from last season's FA Cup run. Chesham will want revenge for that, I'm sure, but can the Stones keep that unbeaten away league record going? With 4 games in 9 days, 3 of them on the road, more testing times ahead for the Stones. Our thanks, as always, to you for watching or listening to the latest preview. Like and subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Just search for the Maidstone United podcast. See or hear you for our next preview ahead of the away league game, the rearranged fixture at Weymouth. And as always,
come on, you Stones.